I have no idea how long it actually cooked for. Moment of truth. The grand reveal. Oh! Check it out. We have ourselves a wild caught Florida duck. This is a mottled duck caught by my boy Lee. Big shout out to Lee for hooking it up. He plucked this mottled duck, which means he literally just pulled all of the feathers off of it. I'm gonna take it out of the package here in a second and show you. But he came by earlier today and gave me this mottled duck. He also gave me some deer meat from the deer that he shot. Of course, his dog Angel was running around, always good to see her. And he showed the beautiful rack of the public land buck that he shot. Huge congratulations, Lee. You killed it this season. I had a bit of a tough season myself, so props to you for getting it done and for getting us some deer meat. So stoked about that. But this is a mottled duck. That's M-O-T-T-L-E-D. And we're gonna try smoking it. So let's take it out of the package. If you watched my last duck hunting video, maybe about a week ago, all I did was cut the breasts out of the duck and threw the rest of the duck away. Actually, I used them for crab bait. And that is what most people do with duck that they shoot. But I'm very excited to try this because this is a completely different recipe. So what Lee did was he told me he just plucked all the feathers off of it. You can see there's a few feathers left, but pluck right off these tiny little feathers. And yeah, that is a plucked duck. So he cut the head off, plucked all the feathers off of it, and then pulled all the organs out through there. And what you're left with is a beautiful looking duck. Now I was debating if I should spend the time to pluck the rest of the feathers off or if it's good enough. I'm not exactly sure what the best approach is here. I've never done this before, but you know what? I'm gonna just spend like 2 minutes real quick just plucking some more feathers off of it. I'm curious if when we smoke the duck, if any remaining feathers will kind of just burn off, or if they're gonna stay there and be annoying when you try to eat the duck. So maybe I'll leave a couple feathers on it just to test that experiment so we know for the future reference if we need to pluck every single tiny feather off or if it's okay to leave some feathers. You know what? That's probably good. I think all the major ones are off. All right, and there we go. A plucked duck. Maybe I can get a thumbnail if I'm like this, like, I don't know, is that a good thumbnail? I don't know, it might be creepy. I smoked a turkey for Thanksgiving and I'm gonna be smoking turkeys every Thanksgiving now. It sounds kind of weird, but everyone that had it was like, whoa, it was like fall off the bone. It was so good. I'm gonna do exactly the same recipe to this duck. And what I do for that is I have a bowl of water and we're just gonna make a brine, which is going to consist of salt and brown sugar. Well, I am out of my salt, so I'm gonna use my fancy salt. I have a bunch of Himalayan pink sea salt, which I'll pour in there. Also crush some up in there. That is a good amount of salt. And now we are going to put in brown sugar. So a nice chunk of that, maybe like a cup. No, probably maybe like 2 cups. All right. And we're gonna just mix that up real nice in there. The best way to test your brine is just get your finger in there, wet it.
Nice.
Actually, it's not that salty. I feel like I could use more salt in there. You know what? I'll apply some salt directly to the duck. Yeah, ducky. That's a good little ducky. Take your duck, put it in the brine so it is completely submerged, like that. And to keep the duck submerged, I like to put a plate on top of it to kind of hold it under the water. Now I'm gonna brine this little ducky for about 24 hours. I'll put this in the fridge and then it's smoking time. I may have lost track of time because it's been 48 hours since I put the duck in the brine. I was only gonna brine it for a day, but you know, I think 2 days of brining is probably okay. Let's see what we got here. Pull out the plate. Hoo-hoo, and we have ourselves a beautiful duck. And this water kind of turned into syrup almost, which is exactly what we want to see. Make sure all of the brine is out of the duck. And then we're gonna put the duck in our little foil container here. We're gonna be putting it on the Traeger just like that, on the smoker. But first, we want to season the duck a bit. For seasonings, I'm going to use the South Florida Fishing Channel Fish and Game Seasonings, available on southfloridafishingchannel.com. We have sweet heat, garlic and onion, and lemon pepper. So first we'll start with a little bit of garlic and onion. It's a nice sprinkle. Then of course, lemon pepper. This is our newest flavor. Fresh as can be. And we'll just, give a nice healthy dose of that. And then of course, my favorite, some sweet heat. Bam! We'll also put a little bit of seasoning on the bottom side of the duck. And that is it. Now we're gonna take the duck and we're gonna put it on our smoker. And we're gonna smoke it for about 2 hours. And after 2 hours, we're gonna wrap it in foil and then bake it for another maybe 2 hours. And that's it. So we're gonna be using a Traeger smoker. Just put them right on in there just like that. And the Traeger smoker uses these pellets. And it slowly burns the pellets, creating this smoke. Well, the turkey I smoked for 2 hours, and the duck's a lot smaller than the turkey, so I might just smoke the duck for maybe an hour and then I'll cover it up. It just, you don't want to smoke it too long because it'll dry it out. You just want to smoke it long enough to where it gets that smokiness in it and a little bit of crispiness, and then you cover it up. Finish baking it, cover it up, because then it'll contain all the moisture in there and it'll be like fall off the bone if everything goes to plan. It's been about an hour. Probably give it another hour. Hey, it's been 2 hours now. Yeah, it looks good. The duck has been smoking for 2 hours. It smells amazing. It's acquired a little bit of that smokiness. You can see around the bones, it's starting to turn that smoky red. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover it with some foil. But before we cover it with foil, we wanna add a little bit of moisture in here, so that way when it cooks inside of the foil, it gets nice and juicy. Normally I would use like chicken broth or bone broth, or apple juice is really good to use, but I don't have any of those things. I was gonna just put some water in it, but I do have this lemonade. Honestly, I think it would be good. So just a tiny bit, just to keep the moisture up in there, just like that. Maybe like 1/8 of a cup. That is plenty of moisture in there, nothing crazy. Then what we're gonna do, actually, maybe like just another tiny touch. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we're gonna cover up the little beast. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna set the Traeger to about 300 degrees. I'm gonna put this back inside of the Traeger, or you could just put it in a normal oven if you wanted, but I like to keep it on the Traeger. I don't know why, it just brings out the flavors more. And I'm gonna go paddleboarding for maybe 2-3 hours, and we're just gonna let this cook real low, real slow, and then when I get back from paddleboarding, we'll give this wild Florida duck a try. I just got back from paddleboarding. Wow, it was beautiful out there. And I was out a little longer than anticipated. I said I was gonna be gone for like 2-3 hours. It's been almost 5 hours. And when I got back, my Traeger was off and it ran out of wood pellets. And the duck, it's warm, but it's not hot. I have no idea if this is done or if it's still undercooked. I have no idea how long it actually cooked for. So let's open it up, check it out, and then we might just have to throw it back on the Traeger for a little bit longer. Moment of truth, the grand reveal.
Man, lift that lid off, it looks black.
It is black.
Oh, okay, it's definitely cooked. Oh, it smells really good. I probably could have used a little bit more liquid in there because there's a lot of caramelization in there. There's still some liquid, so wow. Okay, let's try that. Let's take him out of there and put him on a plate. There we go. That's out. Okay. Woohoo! I don't know about you boys, but that looks pretty damn good. I better take a picture of it. Okay. I say we cut this little piggy open and see what's inside. It's perfect. I mean, this is hands down the most, holy moly. Oh my God. Look at that meat. That is peel. That is pull apart duck meat. Oh my. I need more video for the gram. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, South Florida Fishing Channel. You can also follow my personal Instagram, Heiko Winkler. Let's be real now. Let's just take a piece of this meat and you can see the smokiness of that duck. All right, let's give it a whirl. I'm gonna get low for this one. I haven't tried it yet. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm just gonna go off by how it looks. This looks crazy amazing. We're gonna start with the dark meat. This reminds me of the Thanksgiving turkey that I made. Wow, it is a little bit drier than the turkey. And I don't know if that's because it's a duck or if it's because, I don't know how long it cooked for. Also with the turkey, I injected a bunch of butter into it. I didn't do that with the duck, but almost dropped a piece. That would have been tragic. This is heavenly. I want you guys to understand how delicious this duck, this smoked wild duck. Oh my. Let's try the skin. You can pick away. Oh, look at this skin. That crispy skin with all of the flavoring and seasonings on there. Whoa! This is a public service announcement. Wild duck skin on a smoked duck. It's really fatty. All those seasonings. This might be one of my favorite things that I've done all of the last year or two. This might be my favorite. Holy smoke. It looks like pulled pork. Just by looking at it, you could mistake it for pulled pork. It's so wet and juicy and flaky and smoky. I gotta give a huge shout out to Lee. Lee, thank you, man. This is a game changer. Lee told me that this little juicy part of the duck, this little butt or tail or whatever you want to call it, is like the delicacy of it. So let's give that a try. There's the little butt of the duck. I'm just gonna dig in. What the heck? There's some juicy little meat in there you can pull out. And then look at the little legs here. What we have here, oh, is a little duck leg. Look at it, with a bunch of skin on it. Little duck leg. Quack, 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 quack. It's like a popsicle. If you've never smoked a wild duck, please give it a try. There you have it. Smoked wild duck. Totally epic. Give it a try. What else should I cook? How should I cook? Tell me some recipes. Tell me what you guys want to see. I can go out and get wild animals, ducks, fish, hogs, deer, whatever. You tell me what you want to see me cook, and I want to do a couple more cooking style videos like this. But if you watch this video, then thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you guys on the next one here on the South Florida Fishing Channel. Cheers.